The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the living room as you finished getting ready for the party. Your friends had invited you and your husband Jungkook to a casual meetup and you had been looking forward to it all week. You heard Jungkook's footstep approaching and turned to see him in his office attire adjusting his tie. Are you ready to go? You asked hopeful. Jungkook signed, looking at you with a mix of regret and urgency. I'm really sorry, but I have an important meeting today. I can't make it to the party. You always do this. You never come to meet my friends. It's always something. He stepped closer. I'm sorry, baby. I really have to go. It's important. I promise I will definitely come next time. Please understand. You looked at him, frustration mingling with understanding. After a moment, you nodded reluctantly. All right. Jungkook's face softened with relief. He pulled you into a tight hug, his arms wrapping around you securely. You felt the warmth of his embrace and closed your eyes, savoring the moment. He backed off slightly and gently peeked your forehead. Goodbye, love. Be careful at the party, he said softly. Bye, you replied, watching as he turned and headed out the door. As the door closed behind him, you took a deep breath, reminding yourself that he was doing his best. With a final glance in the mirror, you grabbed your bag and headed to your friend's house, determined to enjoy the evening even without him by your side. Arriving at the party, you were greeted with warm smiles and laughter. The evening was filled with light-hearted conversations and catching up with friends. As the night progressed, someone suggested playing a game of truth or dare, and everyone eagerly agreed. The bottle spun around the circle, stopping at different friends who took on dares ranging from silly to embarrassing. Laughter filled the room as each person completed their challenge. After a few rounds, the bottle finally stopped at you. Your friends exchanged mischievous glances, and you know that they had something interesting in mind. Alright, what's my dare? You asked, curious and a bit of apprehensive. One of your friends, Sia, said, you have to ignore your caring husband for a day. You stared at her, taken aback. I can't do that. He can't resist my ignorance and I can't either. No, dare is a dare unless it's challenging. Another friend chimed in. We all did ours. Now it's your turn. You hesitated, weighing the challenge. Finally, you signed and nodded. Okay, I will do it. They all looked at you seriously. You can't cheat on this. If we find out you didn't do it, we won't tolerate it. I won't, I promise. If I give my word, I will definitely do it. Don't doubt me. I will complete this dare. Trust me, you said confidently. Your friends nodded, satisfied with your promise. The game continued, but your mind was already racing with thoughts about how you would manage the dare. The party was a blast filled with laughter, music, and good company. You hugged each of your friends as you said your goodbyes, promising to catch up soon. You headed home, the challenge of the day weighing on your mind. After getting home, you freshened up and sat on your bed thinking about how you would ignore Jungkook for an entire day. It seemed impossible, but you had given your word. Just then, you heard the sound of the front door opening. You know it was Jungkook. Quickly, you lay down on the bed and pretended to be asleep, hoping he wouldn't suspect anything. Jungkook walked into the bedroom, his footsteps soft. He stopped by the bed and looked at you, his expression tender. You felt the bed dip slightly as he sat down beside you. "Hey, I'm home," he whispered, brushing a strand of hair from your face. You kept your breathing steady, resisting the urge to respond or open your eyes. Jungkook kissed your cheek softly, whispering, "Baby, I know you are not sleeping. You are awake. Talk to me." His hand caressed your head gently. You opened your eyes and saw his tired, worried face. It melted your heart, but you remembered the day and turned your face away. "Baby, you know I missed you so much," he said, leaning in to kiss your neck, but you stayed silent. "Baby, honey, say something. Talk to me. Did you eat? Do you feel unwell?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. You turned around, trying to keep your tone neutral. "I'm fine. I ate my dinner already. You go and eat." He signed but nodded. "Okay, let it be. Come with me to accompany me while I'm eating," he said with a pout. "I'm sleepy," you replied, turning away from him. "Ryan, please, just for a few minutes. I'm so hungry. Please come with me. Ryan, please," he pleaded, hugging you from behind. You gently removed his hand from your waist. "Baby, are you mad at me about this morning? That I didn't come to the party? Is that why you are mad at me? Speak something, baby." You took a deep breath, reminding yourself of the dare. "I'm not mad," you said curtly, hoping he would believe you and let it go. "I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Please talk to me." You turned over and said, "Don't disturb me. Go and eat your dinner." "Ryan, baby, I'm too hungry. Please come with me. I can't eat alone," he pleaded. In your mind, you thought about the dare but couldn't let your husband starve. "Okay, fine. I will be there for only 5 minutes." "Okay," he said, giggling with relief. You got up from the bed and headed downstairs with Jungkook following you happily. You sat on a chair and started scrolling through your phone, trying to ignore his presence. He sat beside you with his plate and said, "Feed me." Ignoring his words, you continued to look at your phone. "Yeah, Ryan." He whined like a child seeking attention. You couldn't help but enjoy seeing him like that. Just then, you got a message from your friend reminding you not to cheat on the dare. You quickly typed, "I will do it and I won't cheat on it." "Baby, if you won't feed me, I really won't eat." You thought he was just saying it to get your attention, so you stood up and walked away, hoping he would eat on his own. Jungkook watched you leave, feeling hurt and confused. He knew you couldn't stay mad at him for long, but this time felt different. He cursed himself for not going to the party, regretting his decision deeply. As you walked back to the bedroom, you felt a pang of guilt. Ignoring him was harder than you thought, and seeing him so hurt made it even worse. You lay down, trying to convince yourself to stick to the dare. Meanwhile, downstairs, Jungkook poked at his foot. He couldn't take the loneliness your silence had brought. His heart felt heavy as he stared at the untouched plate of food. He abandoned his dinner and went upstairs. Seeing you lying on the bed with your back facing him, he approached and gently tried to turn you to face him. Baby, talk to me. You know, I can't take your ignorance. If you want to shout at me or beat me, do it. But don't give me this punishment. I can't tolerate this, please, he pleaded, his voice cracking. He tried to turn you around, but you yanked your hand away and turned it back, pretending to sleep. Jungkook was shocked. You had never ignored him like this before, nor had you rejected his touch. The hurt was evident in his eyes as he stood there for a moment, not knowing what to do. Fine, he said, his voice low and pained. He stormed out of the room, slamming the door harshly behind him. You lay there, heart pounding. The sound of the door slamming echoed in your mind, making you feel even worse. You had never seen Jungkook so hurt, and knowing you were the cause made it even more painful. You waited for some time, hoping he would return to the bedroom, but as the minutes ticked by and he didn't come back, worry started to creep in. Unable to stand it any longer, you got up and began searching the house. You checked every room but couldn't find him anywhere. Your worry deepened as you realized he might be more upset than you had thought. Finally, you decided to check the terrace. As you stepped onto the terrace, you saw him standing there, his back to you, looking out over the city. The sight of him standing alone, seemingly lost in thoughts, tugged at your heart. You took a deep breath and slowly approached him. You gently placed a hand on his shoulder, calling his name softly, Jungkook. He didn't react, his eyes fixed on the city lights. You turned him towards you and your heart sank at the sight of his red, swollen eyes. The realization that he had been crying alone hit you hard. You could see the depth of his pain and know how much your actions had hurt him. Without a word, you reached up and gently wiped the tears from his cheeks and nose, which were wet from crying. You caressed his cheeks, trying to offer some comfort. Jungkook, I'm so sorry, you whispered. He looked at you with such vulnerability and it broke your heart. You pulled him into a tight hug, holding him close. Instantly, he hugged you back, burying his face in your neck, his body trembling. You ran your fingers through his silky smooth hair, trying to soothe him. Feeling your touch, he began to cry even louder, his sobs echoing in the night air. You could feel the depth of his pain, knowing that your actions had caused it. You tried to pull away from the hug, but Jungkook held on tightly, not ready to let go. Realizing he needed more time, you hugged him again, holding him until he felt better. Eventually, he backed off slightly, his face still tear-streaked. Why are you crying? You asked softly. Because you were ignoring me and not talking to me, he said, sobbing hard. Seeing him so upset, you hugged him tightly again, peeking his lips gently. Baby, I'm sorry for making you cry. It was just a dare from my friends. I'm so sorry. You caressed his cheeks with your thumb. What? Dare? He asked, his voice trembling. Are you happy now that you made me cry? No, baby. Why would I be happy? You replied, your heart aching. I was forced to do this. I told them I couldn't, but they made me. You could have just told them you did it without actually doing it, he said, his eyes filled with hurt. I don't cheat on dares, you said softly, but I realized now it wasn't worth it. You kissed his lips again, and he responded. After a moment, you both pulled away. Am I forgiven now? You asked tentatively. He didn't say anything, looking at you with a mixture of emotions. Now, are you ignoring me for what I did? You asked worried. He pulled you closer, wrapping his arms around you. No, I am not ignoring you. How can I be mad at my baby? He kissed your forehead gently. Just don't do this again, okay? I promise I won't. I will never make you cry because of me again. Jungkook looked at you with his big pleading eyes. Baby, I'm so hungry. Can you please feed me now? You looked at him with concern. You didn't eat your dinner? He shook his head, pouting adorably. Jungkook, I also wanted to tell you that I'm really hungry too. Can you feed me as well? I'm starving, you admitted. What? He exclaimed, his eyes widening. You said you had your dinner when I asked you? Yeah, I lied to you. Come on, let's eat together. His pout turned into a smile and he grabbed your hand, leading you back downwards. Together, you went to the kitchen and started preparing some food. As you sat at the table, Jungkook picked up a piece of food and held it up to your lips. Open wide, he said with a playful smile. You giggled and opened your mouth, taking the bite. Your turn, you said, picking up a piece and feeding him. The two of you continued feeding each other, laughter and love filling the air. The earlier tension melted away, replaced by a warm, comforting connection. As you finished eating, Jungkook leaned in and kissed you softly. I love you, Wine. I'm glad we are okay now. I love you too, Jungkook. You replied, smiling, and I promise no more dates like that ever again.